Buddy, I don't remember Lake Ontario ever being this calm.
You get a few days.
We're gonna catch a lot of fish?
We better.
Listen, I'm with a real good friend of mine and an old-timing friend of mine, Randy Scott. How long we known each other?
35, Darryl.
I thought it was 45. Seems like that sometimes. Listen, in my opinion, this guy is the best charter boat skipper on Lake Ontario. We're out in a place called the Blue Zone, the middle of Lake Ontario, right?
Yeah, about 13 miles out.
What do you catch out here?
Steelhead, cohos, kings.
Yeah, kings, you mean Chinook salmon?
Chinook salmon, yeah.
And we're gonna get a lot of steelhead or rainbow trout like this?
Yes, sir.
Stick with us, because we're going fishing.
I'm going fishing all the time, and my baby's going fishing too. Bet your life that your sweet wife can catch more fish than you. Any fish will bite if you got the right bait. Now here's a little something that I'd like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing. Yes, I'm going fishing. My baby's going fishing too.
Going Fishing with Darryl Choronzey is brought to you in part by Yamaha. Reliability with every turn of the key. G3 Boats, a Yamaha boat company. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley, catch more fish. And by Darryl Choronzey's Canadian Fisherman's Breading and Batter Mix. Closed captioning for Going Fishing is brought to you by Skeet Soap. If you and your family are concerned about DEET, use Skeet. When it comes to fishing the Great Lakes, and in particular Lake Ontario, there's a new term that's being heard more and more. It's called fishing the Blue Zone. Today, Choronzey has met up with longtime friend Randy Scott of Reddog Charters. Scott has been a Lake Ontario charter boat skipper for more than 35 years. Surprisingly, his home base is centered close to downtown Toronto, out of the Mimico Cruising Club, located at the Humber Bay Park under the shadow of the CN Tower. Stay with us as the boys head out to the famed Blue Zone, located approximately 10 miles from the Toronto shoreline. The Blue is deep water where big, sassy steelhead, Chinook, and coho always seem to be waiting to bite down on a passing spoon or fly.
Randy Scott, pretty fish, eh?
Beautiful.
Again, it's a rainbow or it's a steelhead, right? Now, these are rainbow trout, but we're gonna say steelhead because they have originated in the ocean. You know, we're on the West Coast. They lay their eggs in fresh water, and then they take off to the salt water, and then they come back and lay their eggs in fresh water again. You catch a lot of steelhead or rainbow trout out here?
That's the majority of the fish are steelhead.
In this Blue Zone,
yeah.
Right? Okay, I would say, and I could be wrong, I see a little nick in the fin, and that kind of tells me it's from a hatchery, just from where in the hatchery, but you don't know for sure. There are no belly fin clips on this fish, right?
No clips.
Okay, I talked to the Ontario government the other day, and they said they raise a Ganaraska strain rainbow trout, and they're not doing really well with it right now. The Americans are using what's the name of that river I told you about? Chambers River.
Chambers River.
Right? I knew you'd forget. That's why I jumped in with Chambers River. But Chambers Creek steelhead are a strain of saltwater steelhead. You know, they're born in freshwater again. They go to the ocean and they come back and breed in fresh water. But they're a strain that they're bringing from Oregon and Washington. I think Michigan uses them, Wisconsin uses them, New York uses them, Ohio uses them. And I don't know why Ontario isn't using them. You're catching a lot of them. Guess what? Your rod's going out behind you, so you get that rainbow trout. Get that fish. No, it's your fish. Now look it, you got one going there. I'm gonna put this guy on ice. What do you think?
Here, Darryl.
Can you handle that fish?
Yeah.
You leave the other rod alone. You got two rods?
No.
That fish came out of the water 4 times. You know that?
He's into the diver.
Detangle?
Sort of.
Use your expertise, buddy.
Okay.
Here, give me that
one
one.
goes
I'll get
back.
that one out. Nice fish, Randy. You're out in the Blue Zone. We're out starting at 300 feet to 350 feet of water, right? But your cannonballs and your lures are only down 30, 35 feet.
That one came off about 35 feet.
And that's why these fish are so lively. They don't have to come up from a long ways and they're
Correct.
breaking water.
And they jump like crazy.
Mr. Scott, can I have the honors?
Yes, sir. Go to her.
What do you think? Or you got a coal or you got a rainbow? I think you got a rainbow, buddy.
Rainbow.
Nice rainbow. Dandy rainbow, Randy.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Hey? Now, okay, I asked you before, what's an average fish?
6 to 8 pounds, 6 to 10 pounds.
I'd say this may go 10, eh?
That's about 10, yeah. Great fish.
Dandy fish. Look at the size of this fish. Now, how many fish will they catch on a day like this out here?
Well, in a 6-hour charter, usually 10 to 15 of those a day
Yeah, 10 to 15.
in 6 hours, and then the afternoon the same.
Dandy
That's
fish.
a beautiful fish.
Eh? Now, I don't see a missing fin clip, and I don't know if this is wild really or whether it's missed in the hatchery, right?
Oh, no.
Ontario and New York are doing a pretty good stocking program.
Excellent. I think about 800,000 a year.
Is that a sweetheart or is that a sweetheart?
That's a beautiful fish.
Put her there, buddy.
That's a good fish.
I want to tell you something. Before we go any farther, Randy said, well, I said to Randy, when are we going to catch the first fish? And he says, don't look now, there's one right over there. Now, we had a fish, and this is not on camera, but we had a fish that jumped 6 times beside the boat, right?
Yep.
It pooped all over me, and we never got it in the boat. I mean, the fish just went crazy. Hey, great fishing in downtown Toronto. Thank you very much.
That is a nice fish.
Going Fishing returns with more steelhead action.
I can't believe this, Randy. Non-stop. Now, how many fish in a real good day out here in the Blue Zone?
All day, on a good day, maybe 50.
50 fish.
Yeah,
And so people can come to you from downtown Toronto. They're only 10 minutes away pretty well.
10 minutes from downtown.
Boy, I couldn't, you know what? I've never been to that marina. That's really something. Randy, I can't believe the action out here, you know? Wow. Now, what do you catch mostly out here? Rainbow mostly?
Rainbow, yeah.
Then Chinook, then Coho?
Coho, then Chinook.
Coho, then Chinook?
Yeah.
Well, he's way back, this guy. This guy walloped it, Randy. I just can't believe this. Now, what would you say? You can tell by fin clips. What are the majority of the fish? Are they wild or are they hatchery?
They're hatchery fish.
Are they? Well, it's really neat. This
Well,
is pretty
I wait
neat.
all year for this.
Now, when do you come out to the Blue Zone?
Middle of August to the end of September.
Golly. And these rainbow are just out here waiting for you. It's a 15-mile ride out here, right?
Yeah, we start about 12 and work out to 15. It's all based on water temperature.
Yeah. And contaminant-wise, these steelhead or rainbow trout are pretty good for eating.
Oh, they've really improved. They're starting to eat a freshwater shrimp, and their flesh is very pink.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think this guy's all pooped out. He went out about 5 or 6 times out of the air. I got him winded right now. Hey. You got him?
That's another nice
You know what? These are all nice steelhead, Randy. Hey, gonna get you to hold that? I'm gonna bring him up. Dandy fish, Mr. Scott. What do we say? Hey,
That's a beauty.
is this dynamic fishing or what? And again, these fish have got all their fins, and they're wild. I'll tell you what, unhook him, just reach in there. Can we get him off? I'm gonna let him go, what do you think? I know you're gonna cry, but I'm gonna let him go. What do you think?
Okay, Darryl.
Can I torpedo him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna let him go, Randy. You ready? He's gone. Now, you kind of looked at me like, what are you doing letting him go? I got that impression.
That's the first time I've seen it.
I looked at that fish. It had all its fins, right? Wild fish. We've got a bunch in the box, right?
Yes, sir.
It's nice to let one go now and then.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were gonna cry.
I nearly was.
So what makes a dynamic Great Lakes game fish? Well, for starters, it just has to exhibit fighting qualities. Specifically, when it comes to the Great Lakes, those fighting qualities should be available in both the open water and when the fish returns to spawn in many of our big deep water Great Lakes tributaries. That's what makes the Chambers Creek strain of steelhead so significant. Here's a West Coast strain of steelhead that's being used by our neighboring American states to provide sport fishing opportunities in open water and rivers, and at the same time achieve spawning and reproduction success around the Great Lakes. Averaging 10 to 12 pounds and regularly attaining weights of 20 pounds or more, this is a hands-down favorite of both lake open water and stream anglers.
Not Atlantic salmon. Oh, not Atlantic salmon. Look at this guy go. Randy, these guys are powerhouses. Let's see if we can get him jumping again. Wow. Hang on, buddy. Randy, these fish are so dynamic, it isn't funny. Acrobatic, eh?
That one put on a good display.
He really did. You know, Randy and I are talking, and Randy's pointing at the rod, and I'm not looking at the rod, I'm looking at the fish jumping out there. These fish are hogs, Randy. Look at this, look. He just doesn't want to come to the boat.
A lot of power.
How many times did he come out of the water?
Probably 10, 15 anyway.
Oh, golly. Okay, what is your biggest steelhead or rainbow trout out here?
26 and a half. Oh,
Look at this guy. Randy, look at this guy. What is your biggest steelhead or rainbow trout out here?
26 and a half pounds.
You know, I'll tell you what, and again, you and I were talking about, you love the steelhead.
Oh, they're the best.
Like, I love salmon, but I love steelhead for the simple reason you got a great fish out in the Great Lakes, and then you got a great fish in the river, too. This guy wasn't giving any quarter, Randy, let me tell you. You love it when they just explode out of the water? Randy.
There he goes.
There he goes again. Look at this guy. He just doesn't want to come in. You got the net there, pal?
Yes, sir.
Nice fish, Randy, eh?
Beautiful fish.
Dandy fish. I'll tell you what, pal. Is that a sweetie or is that a sweetie? Get him up in here, buddy. Nice fish. Now, this is an average rainbow out here, Randy?
Yeah, it's average for this time of year.
Oh, I see you're just shuffling over towards me. I don't want to get a hook in me. Nice look. Hey, and I'm going to show you something. I always say I like a little orange, I like a little red for my steelhead. And there you go.
There you go.
You know? Nice fish, Randy. Dandy fish. Now, 30, how deep was that one?
34.
So they're right up on top pretty well when you're out here in the blue zone.
Pretty well, right on top.
Dandy fish. Chambers Creek. I can tell that's not a Ganaraska. That's a Chambers Creek, right? It's got stamped right on there, Chambers Creek. Nice fish, Randy. Dandy fish. Hey?
It's beautiful.
Okay, buddy. You're gonna bake me one up tonight, eh?
Well, I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try? Randy Scott's favorite baked rainbow trout. There you go, pal. Nice fish.
And now for the Walker Deeper Diver Tip of the Week, taking your lures down and away. Diving devices such as the Walker Deeper Diver that take your baits out and away from the boat and into the trout's feeding zone are also lethal on northern lakes for bass, walleye, pike, and muskie. Don't leave home without them.
Randy Scott. Now, before I go any farther, how long did you say I've known you?
35 years.
I still think it's 45 years. Listen, a bunch of us got together, and you're going to have to name some names because I did a show on the Saugeen River, and I forgot the names of all the steelheaders. But about 40 years ago, we started, a bunch of us, the Ontario steelheader and salmon fishermen, right?
Correct.
There was Randy Scott, there was Darryl Choronzey, there was John Slade, there was Frank Nassimban, there was Dave Towers, there was Barry. What was Barry's last name?
Barry Spencer.
And there was a Larry.
Larry Olden. Larry Heath.
Okay, and Rod Jones.
And Jonesy.
I think I got us all because I forgot that on one show. But we started an organization to protect and improve steelhead and salmon fishing. And it's gone more to steelhead now and not salmon, but the salmon needs some protection.
Definitely. With this Atlantic salmon program. And,
oh, you're going to bring up Atlantic salmon again?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the fact that if the forage base starts collapsing by Atlantic salmon chewing them, the fish that's going to get kicked out will be Pacific salmon.
Chinook salmon and coho.
Chinook and coho.
You know, my problem is, I don't think the Atlantics, this is my opinion, I don't think they're going to chomp down on the Illinois because I don't think they're going to survive with the strains we've got. We've got the LaHave, we got the Sebagos and Lac Jean or something like that. And all I'm saying is they've got a multi-million-dollar Atlantic salmon program. They should have gone and got the right strains before they even got into this thing.
Well, they should have fixed the streams up. Because we've got encroachment from developers.
Yeah.
The streams aren't the same as they were.
And the fishery, the Atlantic salmon disappeared in 1888 or something. Now you try and tell me these rivers are as nice as they were in 1888. It ain't so.
No, there's road runoff, there's salt, there's construction right on the edge of
the only runoff I seen is off some brains of some biologist. But no, and I'm not anti-biologist. Don't get me wrong. But I went through the splake, you know, and I've got to watch what I say. But we went through a splake that cost $20 million in 20 years, and now they're starting in Atlantic. You should have gone little guys, or you should have got the right strains. Let's talk tackle.
Okay.
Okay. Before I get rehooked again, look at. I've got my 6500C. You know, I've been using these things for 50 years.
Really, 50?
I'm willing to say 50. I've got rigger sticks, right? Still my family rigger sticks. And I got a Dreamweaver spoon.
Correct.
You know, we caught a lot of fish.
A lot of fish.
I was catching a lot of fish on Williams till I lost my Williams spoon.
Well, yeah, there's a story behind that one.
I got dropped on and pooped on by a steelhead today that never even came into the boat. He just jumped beside the boat and covered me in it. Thought he was a flying seagull, you know. Okay, so we're running the spoons and we're running the Abu rods and reels. What do you got in your hand?
Walker deeper diver.
Now, what's it do?
Well, it dives out beside the boat.
Goes away from the boat?
Way and down, and the best thing about it, when you tighten it up, there's a ratchet on the bottom, so when you turn it, it ratchets into place.
So, and what happens is you put your lure on behind it, right?
Right.
And it takes the lure out and away and down.
Down.
But it takes it away from the boat because fish see the boat and they move away. So it puts the food right in front of their faces.
Well, yeah, the spooky ones, yeah.
Okay. Pass me this little thing you've got right there. Now, don't move too far because I want people to see this. Now, this is a Fish Hawk probe, right? Correct. This goes on your cannonball, right?
Yes.
And what it does, it sends a temperature signal back from wherever you're fishing at, what depth, because we're trying to get 50 to 60 degrees, right?
Right.
It tells you where 50 to 60 degrees is off your cannonball, and it sends also the speed of the lure back.
Right.
Right? And some people say to me, well, speed doesn't count. Oh, yes, speed counts. And temp counts.
Oh, it's very important, especially for steelhead fishing. Temperature is the key to it.
Now, what's your temperature for steelhead that you really want?
48 to 58.
Okay, what speed do you want to troll at?
4 to 3.
Okay, so what happens is, and I think we're going to show the monitor later, but it tells Randy the speed at the top, the temperature at the top, the speed at the bottom, and the temperature at the bottom. And people think, well, I'm doing 2 miles an hour up top, I'm doing it down below. That's not true.
No, there's currents and all kinds of stuff that changes down below.
Okay, now that we've done the push for Fish Hawk, was it called Fish Hawk? I think it's called Fish Hawk. Eh?
Fish Hawk X4.
Oh, and that's a new one.
That's the new one.
Did you get a free one?
No.
They didn't give me one either. Now listen, I'm gonna ask you one question. One last question. How long have you been using Big John downriggers?
35 years.
No, 40 years. Why are you 5 or 10 years less? It's almost 40 years that you've been using these things. You're saying 35 years.
At least 35.
I'm saying 40. Like, this guy is 82. Does he look good for 82? But Big Johns, you've never had anything else on the boat?
Never had anything else.
Not that I know. You know,
I
you
love
always
metal.
did. Yeah. Well, I got to say, listen, we're going to go out next time. We're going to go on Mission Impossible. We're going to try and catch an Atlantic salmon.
Good luck.
Now, again, if you get the opportunity and you really, really want to enjoy downtown Toronto fishing. I mean, what you said this was Mimico here?
Mimico Cruising
Okay,
Club.
and what's on the other side?
Tobico.
Etobicoke, right, dividing the marina. Downtown Toronto fishing. You know,
Yep.
you're 10 minutes from whatever that big train station's called in Toronto, and you can be out fishing with you.
Yep, 10 minutes.
Enjoy a trip with my buddy Randy Scott. What's the name of that business one more time?
Reddog Sportfishing.
.ca. I'm not going to be your PR guy, too. You got to remember this stuff. Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, Darryl. It was fun.
Going fishing returns with the Napoleon Barbecue's Shore Lunch.
Kathy Clout. Now, what is your official position at Jake's Grill and Oyster House?
That would be the office manager.
Office manager. How long have we known each other?
We go way back, Darryl, 21
I
years.
was going to say, I was waiting for you to say too long.
No,
Okay.
21 years.
You're from Port Colborne.
I am.
I'm from Port Colborne. What was your maiden name?
Bro,
Bro.
yes.
How do I spell that?
B-R-E-A-U.
Okay, you know what? There's only 3 famous things about Port Colborne. Teeter Kennedy, Kathy Bro, Darryl Choronzey.
Right on, there you go.
Now listen, okay, and I love this place. I mean, this is my favorite bar. This is my favorite place to eat in Ontario, right? Maybe Canada. You do my walleye, not my pickerel. You do Darryl Choronzey's pickerel,
Yes.
right? And what do you have on Tuesdays?
We have our special, all you can eat perch.
Yeah, Darryl Choronzey's batter again, eh?
Yes.
Breading and batter.
Yes.
And it's that good?
It's awesome.
Now, Jamie's making a lot of money.
He's doing okay.
I think Jamie should give you a 25% increase. And what's this lovely lady's name?
Shauna.
Shauna, thank you.
You're very welcome. Enjoy.
Thank you. Now, I guess you being the lady, you're going to want the small plate,
Yes.
right? I'll just eat off the big plate. I'll put a little salt on it for us. You're probably going to use knives and forks, right?
You go
I'm going
first.
to use my fingers. Oh, that is phenomenal. Now, let
Try
me
the
ask you,
celery bread.
why when I got perch? Now, let me ask you something. Is there a better place in Burlington to eat than Jake's Grill and Oyster House?
There is not.
There isn't, right? That's worth another 25% raise. Listen, if you get the opportunity, make sure you get to Jake's Grill and Oyster House, but also you want to get out with Randy Scott. The Steelhead fishing just outside of Toronto is the best in the world. We're going to sit and eat this, and then we're going to get another order.
Very good.
When fishing Lake Ontario, Darryl Choronzey and crew always stay at the Admiral Inn, South Service Road, Burlington, Ontario. For more information on today's fishing location and other going fishing destinations, visit goingfishingtv.com. Going Fishing with Darryl Choronzey has been brought to you in part by Yamaha, reliability with every turn of the key. G3 Boats, a Yamaha boat company. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley, catch more fish. And by Darryl Choronzey's Canadian Fisherman's Breading and Batter Mix. Going Fishing would like to thank the following fine sponsors.
Going fishing, baby, smiling my way, gonna have a great day, no competition. Going fishing, going fishing. We'll be gone, but not for too long. Going fishing, we'll be